Hey guys, David at Finish Line Factory, and if you've been watching, this is my turbo Miata. We're doing the cam seals and the crank seals because they've been pissing oil. Finally got my flying Miata crank seal installer tool, cam seal installer tool. So this is pretty nifty. You just put the seal on this. You put this on the right there on the right on the cam. Put the bolts in, and it just installs it. Takes all of the guesswork out of it. Because apparently I need these tools to babysit me because I couldn't install the seals right in the first place on my own. So I got that going for me. In addition, I've also got some new toys. Let me see if I can figure out where I put them. In the parts box over here. There it is. Check this out. This, if you let me to come over to the shipping table, let me show you guys what I've got over here. This right here is a Banks iDash. And it's turned off right now, but that's kind of what it will look like. This is a display. This is the display with the largest screen that I can find, and it's 52mm gauge size. So basically, this will hook up to the Megasquirt's CAN bus system, and you can actually do all of your displays right on this gauge. So instead of having a separate gauge for water pressure, water temperature, oil pressure, AFR, what else? Having a separate gauge for your fuel pressure or whatever, you can just have it all displayed right here. And it makes it for a very, very clean install. Looks way better than having 50 gauges all around the car. There's only one gauge to look at for all of your information. You can even set warnings and stuff and have a shift light. Pretty cool. So we're going to install this another day. I just want to get the seals installed. So let's get to it. Alright, now that you've watched me struggle to put the timing belt on for the last half hour, now I can show you some of the new goodies that I've got. So these are my timing belt covers. So you see this one, it's all nasty and dilapidated and disgusting. I don't want to put this back on the car. Instead, I've got this nice one. Look at this. Brand new. 15 bucks on eBay. So you got a brand new cover here. Take a look at the old one. The seals are all like disintegrated and oily, and out with the old, in with the new. Goodbye, old timing belt covers. Alright guys, so we're like 90% done here, but I'm going to stop here. It's 1 in the morning here at the shop, here in Pompano Beach. But I want to get my valve cover modified. I want to expand the size of the breather ports to enhance crankcase evacuation, especially under high performance, boost and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna stop the video here. I'm just gonna leave the shop and we'll just continue tomorrow morning, or actually probably tomorrow evening, because in the morning, afternoon I have to handle shop stuff. So I'm gonna stop working here and we're gonna jump to tomorrow. All right, so it is now tomorrow. Okay, it's actually a few days later. I have gotten the valve cover welded up. It's over there on the shipping table. I was going to do it at Build Design, but unfortunately the fabricator was a little busy at the time. So I went ahead and went over to my boy Jason at JGR Boost, and we got it done. Got the 2-10 weld bungs welded to the PCV ports, and I also went ahead and repainted the valve cover. Jason was telling me to take the original paint off, sandblast it, do it nice, but I just want to get it on the car, so I just threw more paint on it. So now it still looks like shit, but whatever. So let's go check it out. Oh man, look at this. Oh, what an improvement. So now you got some nice big, this is originally like tiny. This is like a 1/4 inch. Now it's nice -10. This is usually like, I think this is also like a 3/8 or something tiny. Now that's -10. In addition, we also modified the interior. We removed the covers. Don't worry, I did go ahead and reapply silicone to the edges here. But there's a hole here that, well, let me start over. Oil on this chamber enters through this hole right here, this box, and then goes through some baffles. And there's a pass-through right here that's only like a 1/4 inch wide. We drilled that out to 3/8, and so now the oil can pass through here, goes through these baffles, and out there. We didn't touch anything inside here. I determined that, the baffling system inside of here is adequate. I didn't add any steel wool or anything. If need be, I can do so. But I think there should be sufficient oil scavenging going on. In addition, I just kind of sprayed more paint on top of the valve cover. It doesn't have to look pretty. It's just, as long as it's red, I don't really care. One day I would like to remove the valve cover, have it completely sandblasted and powder coated, but that's for another day. In addition, I also replaced the oil cap, because the old oil cap, the seal was completely blown out. It's completely flattened. So the oil cap was just doing nothing. It was just along for the ride. So now I have a brand new oil cap, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and get this on the car. Alright, so the engine is finally back together, and before I started, I want to see about making a new catch can line, because now we have these -10 bungs there on the valve cover, so I want to get some new lines. Before they were, I had like a -6 hose running up to the catch can, so I want to cap this one off for now, since I believe this will be sufficient, and put a -10 adapter on this. Alright, got that going. Screw that right on. Now I have an AN catch can hose. Maybe if I'm lucky, the Finish Line Factory logo. It'll display back there. Alright, so now that that's done, before I go ahead and hook up the remote oil cooler and start the engine, I do want to go ahead and start putting together the new sensors that I have. I have an oil temperature sensor and an oil it's called a pressure transducer, but it's an oil pressure sensor. And it's going to tell me the exact temperature and pressure of my oil. And I'm going to wire those into my ECU for display with the Banks iDash. So before we do that, I have to, well, the sensors are already on the remote oil filter block. So all I've got to do now is just run the wiring. So let's go create the harness. Here. So let's see here. Red is power. This is going to be coming from the ECU, and it's going to power both of the sensors. Yellow is the ground for the pressure sensor. Green is signal for the pressure sensor, and blue is signal for the temperature sensor. All right, so this is all done. We're protected with heat protection sleeve, Finish Line Factory heat protection sleeve. You've got the connectors there. You got the pins there. Kind of pulled the sheath back a little bit to help protect the connectors as I'm wiring everything in, and then I'll uncover this and wire everything into the ECU, into the rear option connector of my Mega Squirt. So I'm going to install this in the car now. Alright, so it's now the next day. Battery in the camera died, and I ran out of space in the memory card, so I wasn't able to record more. But I did complete a couple more things. So I finally did relocate. I removed the original boost gauge, so that was just a hole in the center console there. And I relocated the O2 sensor controller, the wideband controller, and I installed the Banks iDash. So it's hooked up to the CAN high and CAN low, still to wire and power and ground down there. So that's all done. I still need to pass the wiring harness through the cabin. I can't find a suitable location. All the firewall grounds here, I still have air conditioning and stuff, so I can't just pass it in there. So what I think I might be able to do is maybe drill a hole directly here, and that'll give me a little custom place to pass through my own stuff. So I'm going to see if we can figure out a way to do that. we have our hole and our grommet. So I forgot to hit the record button on some of this. So what I did, I removed the glove box on the in the Miata. And behind there's a space where there's just no insulation, there's no sound deadening. There's just this space where the firewall, the other side of the firewall, is visible, right? And what I did was I took two extensions, because it didn't have a long enough punch, 2 extensions, a quarter-inch bit, a quarter-inch socket, and a quarter-inch Phillips head drill bit to make a punch. Put it on the inside and whacked it with a hammer to make a few punches into the other side. Not to penetrate, but just to mark it, right? And then I used that, marked it with a Sharpie, drilled a hole through with my hole saw right here. Check this out. I have a step drill bit, right? And yeah, so then I can't just pass the wires through that because it's an open hole and the wires would be directly touching the metal. So eventually the wires would wear through the insulation by just rubbing back and forth on the hole, and they would get cut and short, and that would be a big problem. So what I did, I had to add a grommet, right? So to prevent that, you're supposed to put a grommet on it, right? But I didn't have a grommet. I didn't have a 7/8 inch grommet lying around. So I had to improvise. And I took I think it was a 1-inch vacuum cap, drilled a hole through the cap side of it, and then, well, put it in the hole, you know? Now I kind of had to finagle this. What I did was I took a worm drive clamp, right? Like a hose clamp, clamped it down a little bit to reduce its diameter, put it into the hole, and then loosen the clamp, move the clamp backward, push it deep, and then tighten it back up to reduce the diameter, push it back in, take the clamp out, boom. Let me show you. You know what? Let me just show you what I did. Look at this thing. Look at this. Right there. Bam. Got a hole. Got a nice grommet. Wires are protected. Let's continue. Alright, good news. So I got the wiring ran the wiring into the ECU and connected it. I didn't bother filming any of that because I figured it'd be kind of boring. But, let me show you guys this thing. Let me get this to start. There's the wideband. Here's the new thing. I got it all set up too. Thanks iDash. So there, that's my boost pressure and vacuum. That's my engine coolant temperature. That's my oil pressure, and that's my oil temperature. Now, the oil temperature seems to be working, but the oil pressure seems to be stuck around 55, and it's not really doing anything. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out, but you know, in time I'll get it all figured out. You know, but man, that is pretty cool. Might have something wrong with the sensor, possibly. I'll figure it out, I'm sure. Not a big deal. But yeah. Alright, so we're done. So I'm gonna button everything back up, put the radio back in, and we're good to go. So thank you guys for watching. We're gonna end it here. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out finishlinefactory.com if you need any kind of fittings, hoses, or whatever. See you guys. Thanks. Bye.